Hello. So today I decided to try out the Chomchom Pet Hair Remover. I've been looking for a reusable pet hair remover to both cut down on waste and also just have something where I can get up all the pet hair on my rugs, or at least a good amount of it. So the first way I'm trying it here is not the way that you're supposed to do it. See how I'm only doing this in one direction. You're supposed to actually roll the chom back and forth, and that's supposed to give you the best results. So, me doing it the wrong way here, you're going to see, how much I get up compared to later. So, it says for the best results to empty that, to go back and forth, and then also to empty the little dustbin in the back. After every time you use it. So I brought out basically a bunch of rugs that I have and tested it on all of them, all of those rugs. And I've got a ton of rugs, so this was a really good test of the Chomchom, I believe. This is the one that I keep by the front door. The first one was the bathroom mat, and it says to not use it on anything wet, so it was dry, and that worked. So on this one, it seemed like it got up a lot more and it felt a lot better after I used it. Because I was doing it the correct way. Now, this doesn't get up everything. Obviously, that would be probably impossible to get up every single hair. But it did seem to get a lot up. And I think you'll see that as I empty the little dustbin in the Chomchom every time. Now, what it seemed to do was it pushed all the hair, a bunch of the hair, out to the edges of each mat. And you can see me emptying it. It got out a pretty good chunk from that rug, that mat. But anyway, so what I did to deal with it, pushing the hair clumps out toward the end of each mat, was just run the Chomchom along the edges of it, and that seemed to pick up a lot of the excess there. So this is just the same type, and I'm trying that again on this mat. But we're gonna see some other types of mats and where it seems to do well and where it doesn't seem to do as well. It is a bit awkward around the edges just because, logistically, probably with any device, trying to hold it down, on the edges, it's hard to roll it back and forth. I can only really do it one direction there. And that just may be a matter of, how I'm holding it. I'm kind of in a weird mood today. Guys, I don't know. Just kind of thinking about where they're, noticing where there are friendships that are good friendships where you want to keep watering that plant and giving it soil, et cetera, versus friendships where you're watering a dead plant. And I was thinking about that a lot last few hours. I don't know. It's always kind of sad when, a friendship has ended. Now, this is my bathroom mat to have a jarringly, a jarring change of topic here. And I was really happy with how well it worked on this. Just touching it, it was such a difference from where it started. It felt kind of gross, and then the parts that I was getting progressively getting the hair up, it felt so fluffy again. It was almost how it felt when it was new. It felt really nice. And then I'm just getting along the edges again because it seemed to push out the hair, and it got a lot of hair out of that. That mat is right next to the litter box in the master bathroom, so it probably has a lot of cat hair in it. Well, had a lot of cat hair. Now, not so much, which is great. I think one sign that like friendship is ending is when there's not that reciprocity. Like you do a lot for them, or like you're always willing to help them, and then they're not willing to reciprocate. And I don't know. It's just kind of a sad feeling. It's a hard feeling. Jarring change. I love this rug so much. I got it because it's an optical illusion, and I don't know. It doesn't totally work that well in person, but like looking at this on camera, the optical illusion does look a lot better. Makes me think I'm gonna fall in a pit, and I love that feeling when I'm walking through my house and I just feel like I'm about to fall into a pit. I'm just kidding, but I don't know. When I think of optical illusions, I think of I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who made a comment about like optical illusions should really be called brain failure, because a few like weird lines and shapes and your brain can't figure it out. Like it's so trippy looking at this on camera because it's so different in person. In person, I definitely don't get the effect, especially when it's dirty. But yeah, like on camera, this looks really good. My brain is having some brain failure with trying to figure out whether that's a pit that I'm kneeling over. And I don't know. At first, I felt like it didn't work too well on that one, but then I saw how much hair it actually did get up, and I'm like, yeah, I guess it kind of did. I think part of that was because I just need to wash that little rug. I like to put that one right under my chair in front of my laptop at my desk. So I can imagine I'm sitting over a giant pit. Now, this is probably the one mat that it did not work as well on. I think it's just the style of mat. It's like really prickly, but a lot of that like brown stuff on the mat came up. I thought this was a cute mat. I got it because it looks like a cat scratched it, and like those are little paws at one end, and then the scratch marks are like actually open bits of the mat. When I picked it up, there was like an indentation under it. Well, not an indentation, but like markings where the claw marks were. Which is probably, maybe it got wet or something. I don't know. But yeah, it didn't seem to work as well on that one. So I probably wouldn't use it on that mat again. But on all the other mats I tried this Chomchom out on, it did seem to work really well. And I would definitely use it again. Now this is like a cat looming over the world. And this one is also right next to some litter boxes. So it gets a ton of hair on it. I've been wanting to fix up this mat for like years because ever since I got it, I haven't really properly cleaned it. So I was happy with how this turned out. It looks so much better. You can kind of see the effects of how much cleaner it's getting with the Chomchom thing. And I like that this is a reusable hair remover instead of like using that sticky lint roller stuff, and it's just so wasteful to me. So that's why I got this, even though it was a little bit pricey. It's something I can hopefully use for a really long time, many years. I'm hoping it doesn't like break or something. That would be a waste of money. So I've got one more thing to try out the Chomchom on. I'm just kind of sweeping up my mess here. There's like so much litter and dirt and stuff coming off of those mats. But I wanted to give it a try on my big rug. So it's not that big, but it's probably the biggest one I have in the house. So I'm setting it up here to show you what it's like on this. This is like such a cool rug. It's like galaxy stuff. A lot of space stuff in the living room. We're all lovers of outer space here. The funny thing is, like, I didn't have any interest in space I thought it was like the most boring thing ever until I took astronomy. And I realized that that was because all my exposure to it before had been stuff like Star Wars or like astrology, and I just hated that so much, both of those. Sorry, but I'm not a Star Wars fan. I know that's not a popular take. If you have to exit the video, I understand. Anyway, but like actually learning real space facts is what made me start loving space and being really interested in astronomy. So I actually ended up minoring in astronomy because, yeah, it's so cool to learn like the real stuff about it and not a bunch of like BS, you know? I don't know. I know a lot of people out there love astrology and stuff like that. It's just really not my cup of tea. It's not for me. Sometimes I will like look at my horoscope and stuff, but then I remind myself of like how it's so general that it could literally apply to anyone, almost anyone. And that's kind of how they make them. They make them like broad enough that almost anyone's going to fit the description. And sometimes they're not even like description, they're like fortunes. And then the weird thing is like fortune cookies are not always fortunes. Sometimes they're just advice. I don't know. All that stuff kind of was weird to me. But hey, this ended up like overflowing out the back because this rug was a little big. So just make sure you empty this frequently when you're using it. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. Thanks, guys, and I will see you next time.